Hello, beautiful women. It's Sophie Musumeci. I have the most amazing Josie with me, who is one of our Wealthy Woman Mastermind clients, and she has been having some amazing growth and big breakthroughs. And so, thank you so much, Josie, for your time to be able to share what your experience is like, any lessons that you might have for anyone. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing fabulous. Thank you very much for asking. Yes, I'm feeling on top of the world and pumped up.
You should be. You should be very proud of what you have been achieving. So, why don't we start with, could you share a little bit about what you do and the types of clients that you help?
Okay, so I'm a wellness coach. I've been dibbling and dabbling in this for a few years. 2006 or 14, actually. I started integrative nutrition. Then I did body ecology. Then I moved into colonics hydrotherapy and lymphatic massage. And I also made fermented foods and supplied North Queensland with my product of Pro Gut Care fermented foods. And I was mainly focusing on families and children. So I had this vision of making these beautiful fermented foods, which they were, and turning them into cartoon characters with colouring in books and storybooks, so I could incorporate the kids. So when they go to the shop with mum and they see my product, they would say, "Oh, mummy, can I want to, do the colouring in." And it told them a little bit about the benefits of fermented foods and how important it is to actually implement that into your life, but not only your life, into your children's life, because it makes a huge difference in the gut balance. So, yeah, so I got right into that. And I did that training while I was working out at the mines. So I'd been out the mines for 16 years as a operator. And then went on to loaders, dozers, and became a supervisor out there. COVID hit, and then I chose not to go down that road, and so I had to resign from my job and focus on, probably doing a bit more of the health and wellness side, and also a little bit of community care I was doing as well. So just never sort of started, stop, start, stop. And, my dad just always went, "You've got to keep going in this sort of stuff." But tragedy happened, unfortunately. My father was killed and in a plane accident here in Mackay on Ball Bay. And that took a spiral turn for me, took me out of what I know to a complete and utter numbness of just existing every day for the last 3 years. I have been just existing, and then my mum passed away, and then my husband and I divorced and well split up, and then my children didn't want to talk to me anymore. So I had a lot of things going on in a short time, and it took a lot of soul searching, and I got to the point where I was so overweight, so unhappy, and yeah, I just went, things have got to change. And so therefore I just, I don't know what happened. It was just like the force of my parents behind me saying, "Come on, pick yourself up, walk, tall girl, get on track." And then I had some health issues myself. I went to Bali. I did a 21-day water fast, and then just doing water for 21 days, juicing. I healed myself. And then I came back, and everything that I learned, in 2016 just all came back. And now I've got this energy and this vitality that I just want to share with people and just let them know how good it is to feel good. And so then my journey started, and I thought, how am I going to do this? Because every time I do something, I pull away. And then it's like I want to be held accountable. And then I don't know, Sophie, beautiful Sophie, just turned up on my Facebook page, and I went, bang, I got to do that. So here I am.
Wow, what a journey.
Yeah, so that's a long story short.
No, thank you for sharing. Like, and
Mm,
we all go through so much in our
mm,
lives,
mm.
and sometimes we do feel like we are at rock bottom. We have so much that's piled on top of us, and then we're not looking after ourselves, which then makes everything worse. And interesting that you actually started this journey, over 10 years ago now.
Yeah, yeah.
And then here you are. So you weren't working as a health coach before. So what had you think this is the pathway for me?
Because it's what I know, I keep getting drawn back to it. And being a body ecologist and being over in Bali, and it's very similar to what I know. And I thought, you know what? I can do this. I can do this. And I can either keep going down that rabbit hole, which I'm not a person that does that. And I did find this challenging. I'm not going to lie, the program, because my strengths that in the technical world is not very strong, but I seem to just be winging it. And like I said the other few weeks ago on your thing that you ran, I'm just winging it. But winging it is how I roll. If I don't push myself and take myself out of that comfort zone, you're very well making excuses to sit in your chair and not make that call or not do that. So just taking myself out of that comfort zone and pushing myself and making myself do stuff is, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But you know what? You just keep going. You just
And
keep doing.
you learn through the process as
Yeah.
well. Now, you and I have different definitions of winging it, right? So my winging it is like I have no plan, I have no support. I'm just gonna, see what that person's doing, and I'm gonna try that. And what's that person doing? And what's their prices? And my prices should be like that or maybe less, right?
Yeah.
Whereas your winging it is, well, you have a pathway and a process and a support team, and you're just taking action, but not getting caught up in it having to be perfect and just
Yeah.
like, let's just progress. Let's just
Yeah.
keep things moving and learn as we go.
Yeah, I think for me, it's sort of like I've started at the very, I don't know where you'd put it. So I did my offer, and I sent it in, and my offer came back. I had to fix it. So I'm still working on my offer. I haven't done my offer, but I went with you did the 10 women in so many days. And I thought, that's me. I'm going to do that because I've got to get my money back, because I actually used my dad's money to do this course. So I felt like he's holding me accountable. So I've gone, well, I need to go and at least start bringing some money in. So I was focusing more on the 10, getting the 10, making 10Ks in so many days or, whatever.
Yeah.
And in 3 months. And I'm still working on my offer. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's all
Progress, not
working out. But
perfection,
yeah,
right? Because you've got
yeah,
the strategy, you can follow it, and then you don't have to be perfect within it. You just have to take action.
yeah.
I'm curious to know, Macy wants to join us. I'm curious to know, did you have any hesitations or fears or anything come up before you started working with us? Because that's the thing, is like you actually don't know what's on the inside until you start.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, definitely, I've had Hannah, she's been a little driving force in the background, and I say, I can't do this, I'm going to cry. And she said, well, cry. So it was good to be able to have those conversations when take the weekend off, stop putting all this pressure on yourself, just step back, have a breather. And I did that. And I was able then to, once I stopped putting that pressure on myself that she was sort of, talking me through, I was able to step back. I went camping for the weekend. I just lived life and been happy. And then I came back and I was more focused on, okay, let's just get the script right. Let's get the triage call right. Okay, let's just get the script right and everything else will start to flow. So I worked on my little script, and I do these little, 15 half an hour calls to link them into my next call, and that seems to be working for me. Whereas I wouldn't have done that before if I didn't have that support or that, that direction, I would say. Yeah. So, yeah. So
It's
that's,
nice to be able to do that because it's an informal kind of to get to know you a little bit, and then let's see if we're both wanting to, have a deeper conversation. So I love that as well. Well,
yeah.
well done you. So share some of your biggest wins. What?
Um, well, I wanted to focus on 3 women for January and 3 women for February. So I achieved my 3 women just in the last few weeks of January. And I've signed up a lady for February, and I've got another 2 ladies. I've got a call tomorrow, which I'm thinking she's going to be pretty keen. I've G'd her up. And I've got another lady that I've spoken to, and she just has to check with her husband. So I will be connecting with her again in this week. I'll just leave her because she is under a fair bit of pressure, but I will be connecting with her this week. So I think just the first one, thinking, wow, somebody actually wants this. Somebody actually, and then I put a post up on Facebook about my daughter doing a Kickstart, and well, she put it up as a review, and the amount of inquiries that came into that, I'm thinking, wow, there's only one Josie. How am I going to do all this? You know, how am I going to be able to make all these calls for all these beautiful women that want to just get on track? Because they all got the same story. They're all got no energy. They're all like got brain fog. They're, you know, they're not sleeping and they don't feel well, you know. So I managed to put a group of women together just last week, and we did and I didn't charge because I really wanted to find out, is this going to work, you know? And you know, it was my first live group Zoom calls, and then directing them through the process of a liver cleanse. And then tomorrow night we're having our last Zoom call just to see how everybody went. And they all, yeah, everybody went through the program differently, but the outcome was still the same. So I believe, even though I didn't charge for that one, there's more benefit for me in a understanding how everybody is unique and different, and that how their bodies will react to certain things, but the outcome's still the same. They all lost weight, they all felt great, and in 2 weeks, you know, some lost 2 kilos, majority lost 2 kilos, one lady lost 4, you know. So that to me is a great win too.
Yeah, it's great. And it's like, you know, through that process, you want to have the confidence to be able to do these little tests and then gain that knowledge at the same time as still enrolling paid clients.
Yeah,
Like, that's really important. And I love that you said that, you know, you were able to use the money from your dad to invest in you learning the skills, right? To get your coaching business up and running. And sometimes it's good to have that little bit of a, you know, someone on your shoulder for you to be like, okay, yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it to move forward. So it's like you got your dad and you got Hannah and us and
yeah.
like, you know, Bianca and like all of the other team right there with you. So
Well, it's so important. I've learnt this just from coming back from Bali. If I didn't have my coach, I wouldn't have succeeded in that process of fasting for 21 days. You're in an in control environment there. But when you come back to reality and you move back into mainstream life and you have to follow a protocol, if I didn't have my coach, I would have failed, you know. And I feel like, yes, I'm not always on these Zooms, but I watch them, and the program is in the back there. So I can always just jump on at any time and, you know, do my little bit that I can do amongst working, and just be held accountable, and just be knowing that someone is there. If there's a problem, I can just Hannah or Sky, you know. So yeah, so it's
that's
great.
awesome. That's awesome. Thank you, Josie, for sharing your story and your growth and your insights. I'd love to know, do you have any advice for any woman who might be watching this and maybe she's at a similar part as you? Maybe she's something she's been building towards doing for a while, but hasn't really taken that full leap yet. What would you say to her?
I would say just trust yourself. Just trust yourself and know what you've got is worth it, and it's worth sharing. And yes, you're going to feel uncomfortable and you're going to feel challenged at times, but those challenges only promote growth. So if you step out of that box and you take that first step, just do one step at a time. You know, it becomes overwhelming and it's all too much, and then you want to go and cry, you know, and that's okay. Apparently, you just go and cry. But you just, yeah, I would just say trust yourself, know what you've got, and then there's people out there that need you and want you. Just make that call, and be authentic, be yourself, you know.
Yeah, there's not enough of that in the world.
Mm, no,
Well, we are extremely happy and proud of you, and you should be very proud of yourself for
thank you.
everything that you're learning, because you're learning and you're implementing and you're testing as you're going.
Yep.
And nothing is ever perfect, but you're doing it in your own way, and already in such a very short period of time, making an impact to so many people because you were brave enough to go, you know what, I'm going to do this. Now's the time. So thank you so much for your time. Do you have anything else you want to add before we wrap up?
Um, well, I made my money back, you
Yeah.
know, so that's great. I got my dad's money back, so that's great. And look, just stick with it as hard as it gets. It's certainly something that's challenging, but also rewarding at the same time. So I'd like to thank you, Sophie, and your team. And I just really, really love the vibe and the energy that you all bring.
Oh, you're so welcome.
No
Thank you
worries.
so much, Josie. And obviously, if anyone is looking for support with their health, definitely reach out to Josie as well. She's a
Yeah,
fabulous coach, and you
absolutely.
can see she's like living and breathing it and understands, all of the challenges that women go through as well. So she's
Yeah,
non-judging
absolutely.
and right
Mm,
there by your side. So I'm sure they'll reach out to you. And gorgeous woman, if you are sitting on the fence about working with us, the only way you're ever going to know what you're capable of is if you actually just back yourself and give it a really good go.
yeah.
Sending you all lots of love. Thank you again, Josie. I really
Thank
appreciate
you
it.
very much. Thank you, everybody.